The United States has announced sanctions against Russian oil companies, including oil and natural gas purchase from Russia. Donald Trump, in a social media post, said the US Treasury sanctions are on major Russian oil companies. He's called on Moscow to immediately agree to a ceasefire. He said these tremendous sanctions are to take effect from the 21st of November. They could also, that information that's coming in, they could adversely impact India's supply chain. India, as of now, imports about close to 36% of our crude oil requirements from Russia.
It's the biggest sanction strike yet of President Donald Trump's second term. Overnight, the United States hit Russia's two oil giants, Rosneft and Lukoil, with sweeping sanctions cutting deep into the Kremlin's energy revenues and sending shockwaves through the global oil market. Crude prices spiked more than 4%.
Look, these are tremendous sanctions. These are very big. Those are against their two big oil companies, and we hope that they won't be on for long. We hope that the war will be settled. I think that they'll certainly have an impact. They're massive sanctions. It's sanctions on oil. The two biggest oil companies, among the biggest in the world, but they're Russian. They do a lot of oil.
These tremendous sanctions, as Trump calls them, take effect on 21st of November and could reshape India's oil map. From almost zero Russian oil imports before the Ukraine war, India now sources about 36% of its crude from Russia, a supply chain it must now urgently recalibrate. Indian refiners are reportedly reviewing contracts to ensure no barrels come directly from the sanctioned companies Rosneft and Lukoil. Public sector refiners like IOC, BPCL and HPCL have ordered internal audits, while Reliance Industries, India's largest private buyer of Russian crude, may cut or even suspend Russian imports in the coming weeks. News agencies report that Russian oil supplies to India could soon fall to near zero, effectively ending a trade that made India the world's largest buyer of Moscow's seaborne crude. The 4% rise in global crude prices could just be the beginning of a new oil shock. Traders are already pricing in tighter global supplies in the coming days. India has long argued that its purchases of Russian crude helped keep world oil prices stable. Now, the sanctions could bring more than just pain at the pump, higher import bills, a widening current account deficit, and pressure on the rupee. Analysts say the gap could be filled by Middle Eastern and the US suppliers, but the ripple runs deep, from global markets to Indian refineries, turning Moscow's barrels into the latest test of New Delhi's energy strategy and diplomacy. Bureau Report, Business Today TV.